Hello and welcome to Genesis Training. This is your trainer Kaustav. The topic we'll deal with today is called direction sense, and this is the part 1 of a 3-part series. Let's get started with the concept first and then we will start with the questions. Now when it comes to the concept, the main concept of directions is north, south, east, west. And another sub-directions are northeast, southeast, southwest and northwest. These are at 45-degree angles. There are other directions also. For example, this one will be north, northeast. This one will be north, east, east. This one will be south, east, east. This one will be south, southeast, and so on and so forth. You get the point. Other than this, other than just the directions, the name of the topic is direction sense, but just knowing the directions is not enough. Sometimes you'll need to calculate a few things, and for that you will need a very important theorem called the Pythagorean theorem, which obviously deals with this right angle triangle. We have A, we have B, and HYP is nothing but the hypotenuse, as you might know. Now obviously, according to the Pythagorean theorem, hypotenuse is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of the other side. So hypotenuse equals square root of a square plus b square. This has to be one of the most important formulas of all of mathematics. Now according to this Pythagorean theorem, what is the diagonal of a square? That is something that we really need to know in order to solve direction sense questions in a faster manner. So suppose this is the square that you have. The square is of the side A. Each side measures A units, and D is the diagonal between the square. So according to the Pythagorean theorem, what is D? D is nothing but the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. Suppose this is the right angle triangle, D is the hypotenuse of that right angle triangle. That means D, which is the hypotenuse, is equal to the square root of a square plus a square, which is the other two sides. That obviously means that D is equal to the square root of 2a square. And that means D equals a root 2. A square and root will get cancelled. A will come outside the root, a root 2. This is one of the most important formulae for direction sense, and we will definitely use this formula in a lot of such questions. Now let's start with the questions. The first question says, Ram started walking from his home in search of Sita. He went 90 meters in the east, then he turned right and went 20 meters. After this he turned right, and after going 30 meters he found a forest. He searched in the forest but didn't find her. From there he went 100 meters to his north and reached the bank of a river. In which direction from his home is he now? Okay, so the first thing we obviously need to know is north, south, east and west. Right side is east, always remember that. Let's start then. He went 90 meters in the east. East is towards the right hand side, 90 meters over here. Okay, this direction. After that he turned right. Right now Ram is facing this way, this side. He's facing right. So if he's facing right, then his right will be obviously downstairs, southwards over here. And he went 20 meters. This much is 20. Now he's facing south. And then he turned right. If he's facing south, obviously his right is our left, because he's facing the opposite direction to us. So his right is towards our left. This much is 30 meters. He found a forest, he didn't find her. Then he went 100 meters to his north. This is where most of the people have their doubts. What do you mean by his north, your north, my north? Always remember, everybody's north is the same north, that is up. This is 100 meters. Okay, so don't think that his north means he's going straight. No, everybody's north is the same north, that is up. So the question is, in which direction from his home is he now? The home is over here and the bank of the river is over here. From his home, he is in this direction. This direction is nothing but northeast. Answer is C, northeast. Now be very careful about the last part of direction sense questions. They might twist and turn the question in any way. You need to be very careful about the direction. They have asked in which direction from his home is he now? From his home. So starting from home. Okay. What if the question was reversed? In which direction is his home from his present position? From his present position. That time the answer would have been this direction. That would have been southwest. So always remember to think about what is the reference. Okay. Wherever is the reference, that is where you're supposed to start from. Like for example, here they have told from. Sometimes they say with respect to also. Let's move on. Question number 2. A boy runs 5 kilometers towards east and then turns left and walks 6 kilometers. Again, he turns right and walks for 9 kilometers. Again, right and walks for 6. Okay, a lot of right turns. A boy runs 5 kilometers towards east. Now, we all know which side is east. We have north, south, east and west. Boy runs 5 kilometers towards east. Done. Then he turns left. If he's facing east, then his left is north side. He faces left and goes 6 kilometers. Again, he turns right and walks for 9. Right is this side, walks for 9. Because he was facing north. He was facing north, so right side is our right. Then again, he turns right and walks for 6. Right is down, obviously. He's facing east, so right will be down. 6. Now the question is, how far is he from the starting point and in which direction? How far is he from the starting point? Obviously, we have 5 plus this much is 9. Answer is 14. And in which direction? Now this is where a lot of people make a mistake, because 14 kilometers east also is there in the options and 14 kilometer west also. So we need to be very careful about what is the reference. They have asked how far is he from the starting point. The starting point is obviously this part. So from this part in this direction. What is this direction? Obviously east. So the answer is not west, answer is east. That's it. So moral of the story is, first of all, make sure wherever you start from, wherever you're drawing the lines, the direction, make sure you draw these arrows so that they always remind you which side the person is facing. That helps tremendously well, because that way you don't need to remember which side they're facing. You would have written it here already, so that will give you less stress about solving the question. That's it. And point number 2 to be noted, always read the last part of the question very carefully as to which one is the reference point. Where are we starting from? Be very careful about that. That was all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.